and welcome to another video. I am Debbie, the Crafty Diamond. Today is my weekly massive project, and I am continuing to work on my diamond painting conversion from a cross stitch pattern to a diamond painting, and I am slowly getting there. I have gotten quite a bit actually done this past week, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get quite a bit more over the weekend, but I have a lot going on this weekend, so I'm not really sure if I will be able to or not, but I am trying. I'm also, I don't know why I just dumped all those out and only need 3. I'm also participating in the event that is hosted by Kitten, and I am really wanting to focus on this to get as many drills laid as I can for November. Not sure if it's going to happen or not. Trying to figure out where I am already. Okay, let me go ahead and lay some drills down really quick. 5 and 6. And that is giving me an incentive to want to work on this more. And I do love working on this, but then I put this one off and I go and work on an actual diamond painting because I'm also co-hosting an event with Angie's Crafting with Diamonds for November and December. So I'm trying to do both of these, participate in this event and co-host in Sparkle Addiction. And I don't think that either one of us realized how much of a hit that Sparkle Addiction was going to be, because we have gotten so many that have decided they want to participate, which is amazing. And we also have some wonderful sponsors that all of a sudden we have all these sponsors. And so it is going to be a really good event. And it was going to be good anyway, but it's going to be so much fun because we have so many that are participating that we didn't have any idea that it was going to be this good. And I'm trying to work on my canvas with that one along with this one. And I have 2 months on the Sparkle Addiction. I don't have to finish it, but you know, I want to finish it. And this is only for 1 month. So while I'm going to continue working on this one in December, and I will continue on this one, I will go ahead and continue on my weekly Saturday chats unless I get just too busy in December and, you know, I can't, but I don't see that happening. I really do want to work on this as much as possible. I counted how many squares that I had left, and if I were to do at least 5, just work on this 5 days a week and have 6 squares, I can get this finished in like 4 months. I don't know if I'm even going to attempt that. That's not going to be a goal. My goal for this will be to complete this by the end of next year, which I think that would be doable. I don't see a problem with that whatsoever, but I'm not going to put a time limit on it, like for instance 4 months. I'm not going to do that. But I thought that's not too bad. It looks huge when I'm looking at it. I'm like, there's so many squares that I have to finish, or even, you know, start on. But then if I break it into, you know, doable sections, I don't think it's going to be that bad. And I do want to get this finished and then do something else. I think this one goes at 8 and not 7. I am having to count on some of these just to get started. So how is everybody doing? I hope that you had a really nice week. Hope you were able to get something done for yourself, whether it was diamond painting or whatever that might look like. It has been a very busy week for us, or for me, and for my family too, but a lot of it was things that I had to do and things that my husband was working on. So it has been very busy for all of us. And I won't go into anything like that on this WIP and Chat because I just save all of that for my WIP and Chat on Tuesdays. Once I get this started, then I will definitely go ahead and go over some comments, some questions, some suggestions. I just need to get a base here to get this started so I am counting a little easier. At least if I have some drills down, it'll be easier for me to be able to talk. Where am I? There we go. I can talk, and then I can also read some of the comments. I am planning on working on this quite a bit during the Thanksgiving week. It's going to be very quiet here, very quiet at work. So that's going to be my time to do things around the house. I do want to go ahead for work and get everything ready for next semester, so I'm not stressed and struggling in December trying to get all of that done. I have quite a few videos I really need to go ahead and work on, especially my December videos where I'm going to have a video a day that's going to be uploaded. And I did this last year and really enjoyed it, but towards the end, it's like I didn't really know what to say. I got to where I've told a lot of past Christmas stories of my kids, myself, you know, me growing up, different traditions and things. And then it got to where, okay, now what am I going to do? So I think I have that one figured out for this year. We'll see how it's going to work out. But I hope that those of you that were around last year, that you did enjoy my daily short videos. They weren't really long. And I think what I'm going to do for those is I will still have my WIP and Chats on Tuesday. And then I will have my Saturday. I don't think either one of those will be affected by doing my Christmas, but they could be if I get really busy and I just don't have time to do it. But I'm hoping that on Tuesdays and Saturdays I will have 2 videos coming out in December. One will be my daily Advent, and then the other one will be for my WIP and Chats. And then I'm also going to have my Wednesdays where I will have a Wednesday, it won't be very long, for my and Angie's event. So just thinking about that out loud, that's still going to be 3 extras a week for videos. I don't want to go ahead and do my Tuesdays. I could do that as part of my Advent, and I might do that. It just depends, because I do want to get started, get ahead of the game on the Advent, just because that's going to take me a little bit longer. And if I do that, I don't want to start and I can't do a WIP and Chat that early. So that would be kind of weird. So I'm not really sure. I'll have to figure that one out. That's why I like to talk to you guys. This tells me what I need to do here. It helps me. to just think out loud. So thank you for listening. And any suggestions, I'm definitely up for it. I don't know how much other diamond painting that I will get done in December. That's going to depend again on my Advent. And then also, I did order, but I was in the second wave of the ordering for the Advent for the cross stitch conversion. From the UK, and so that one hasn't come in yet. I wanted that to actually be a part of my Advent series, and hopefully it will be in time. If not, then I will just do those. I'll do those and catch up. Will be about the best thing that I can do. I think I can catch up with those, and then they may have to be on a different video just so I can get caught up with it. So I think that will be okay. That's 8. Okay. So again, I'm thinking out loud. I think that it's going to take some strategic moves on my part to get everything done. But I did it last year. I can do it again this year. My Advent that I'm going to be doing, the canvas, it is not huge. So I think that it's going to be doable to do it daily if I run out of time. I'm hoping I won't, but if I run out of time, then I think that I'll be okay. But I don't want to get stressed trying to get it completed. And if I get behind on a day, then I may just have to get caught up. I also did that last year. I'd gotten behind a little bit, and then I thought, well, it's okay. I've gotten a little behind, but it's no big deal. And I will just get caught up. So on a couple of days, I ended up having to do 2 days at once. I had planned on having this already done before December, and then I can just sit back and I can watch my videos and do other things, do other videos while I am already having those done, but didn't exactly work out that way. I thought, oh, I have plenty of time, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we are almost in December. Where did my time go? And I knew I would do that. It does not surprise me at all. I figured that would happen, and it did. So it's no big deal. I'll get it done. Let's see. Let's go back up here. I think I missed some of these 300s. But I'm excited about it. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. I love Christmas, and I think that it's going to slow down some here too, which is what I'm really hoping. When it slows down with work, then I'll have extra time. And then I'm also going to take some time the rest of November to see exactly what I can get finished. I will put underneath the description a couple of others that I know that are doing this event with Kitting Up Kitten, and I'll put those out there, so if you want to watch what they're doing as well. And then Kitten Up Kitten and then Kelp's Sparkles, I believe, they go live and they're working on their cross stitch conversion. And then Kristyn is doing, not a live, but is doing a video where she's also working on her conversion. So if you want to have more conversions that you can watch or listen to, then I will definitely put those up there for you. Last week I did go on vacation. I mentioned that as I was actually doing this video. I was doing last week's right before we left to go out of town, because I wanted to have my start information on this to be accurate. So I wanted to see how many drills that I was actually able to lay down for November for this particular project. And I also wanted to see how much of a percentage that I was able to get completed. So that was really cool. That's one reason why I waited, and I asked my husband, I said, you know, what time are we leaving? I want to make sure that I get this in. And so I had plenty of time to do, what did I just do? Let's see. Let's go back to a mini stitching time. I don't want to be on the wrong one. I just hit something and there we go. Okay. I really did not want to leave this last week and not take it with me, but then I thought, I just can't. I cannot take this, and I'm glad that I didn't take it to the mountains because it would have taken up a lot of space. We were out of space in the car on the way home. My husband had to strategically place everything in there as we were packing up to go home. And we had taken a lot anyway, but then we bought a few things, and then we had some leftover food when we went to the store there, and we could have just left it. I said, you know, I really would like to take this home though. We still have, you know, a lot left of whatever it was. And so we were able to get everything in the car. But if I had this, it would have taken up, you know, more room, and not to mention I wouldn't have worked on it. I took a small canvas with me. I did a little bit, but honestly, I didn't do very much. I knew that I wouldn't, but I just wanted something there just in case that I had, you know, a little bit of time and we weren't really doing anything. And so I was able to do it that way, which was nice. I wanted to be able to do something. Make sure I've got this in the right place. I don't think I do. No, I don't. Here. I wanted to be able to diamond paint a little bit, but didn't want to just overdo it. And so what I took was perfect. But it would have been nice to have gotten more done than just 600 drills. But that was, you know, 6 more squares. So that was definitely good. Actually, it was about 6 squares, I guess, from last week. And then this week I'm able to got a few more done. I'm going to be able to work on this some more. Today's actually Friday for me. I'm going to work on this some more today. And then also I'm going to work on this some over the weekend. And then I will be able to, let me clean out that, I had some bad drills in there. I want to be able to work on this some over the weekend, and then I will log in how many diamond paintings I was able to put down and what my percentage is. I'm excited because I have gone over the goal amount that I wanted for the year. If I would have worked on this sooner than when I started, I would be probably a little further than where I am. But since I didn't get started until the summer, and I didn't work on it very much, I didn't get obviously as much done. And I kept putting it off and putting it off. I'm not sure exactly why I kept putting it off, but I did. And now it's like I want to work on this. I've really gotten into this now. It's starting to have just to have a story, is lack of a better word. I can see some things now, and so it's really cool. It is pixelated a little bit. When I step back, I can see how pretty that it is. I can actually make out what some things are, but if I'm right on top of it, I can't. And I was assuming that anyway when I started this one, because this is it's a large one, and so I wasn't sure if it needed to be larger to be able to really see it and enjoy it. But for me, I didn't want it to be a larger size. The mini was just about as much as I wanted to even think about doing. But I have it now to where it is looking like something. So I can step back, look at it, and it makes me happy. I want to keep working on it because I want to see what else I can see. For instance, yesterday I stepped back and I looked at it and I'm like, oh, that's an umbrella. That's the start of an umbrella. And that was really cool. Because when I was working on it, I'm like, what is this blob here? And I stepped back, I'm like, that's the start of an umbrella. So that's really cool. So it's kind of, to me, it's like a mystery. I've never done a mystery painting, but I can see now that I'm definitely going to have a mystery painting in my future. In the far, far future. But I can see that I think I'm going to like a mystery painting. And this also gives me hope for my diamond painting that I unboxed last year from the one with the diamond art. And that one is black and white. And when I first got it, and I knew it was black and white whenever I ordered it. So that wasn't anything that I wasn't aware of. But I looked at it and I thought, I don't know about this. What have I done? But now it's like, okay, this is going to be fun because as I put these drills down for black and white, I'm going to be able to start seeing a picture. But I did get that one in round, and I am concerned that you're going to be able to see the black symbols through. That is my main concern with that one, but I am going to attempt it and see. Hopefully the black symbols will not show through too bad. And as long as they don't show through, then I will continue working on it. I haven't even kitted that one up. I may do that one for the Josephine Wall event that I will be co-hosting with Angie in April, if I get my other Josephine Wall finished. If I don't, that's the one I'll be working on. But I think that will be fun to see that one come to life. I'm not sure how long that I can work on that one though, because I'm afraid all the black and white is going to give me a massive headache. And I definitely don't want to do that to myself. So we'll see. But I have plans. I also unboxed my large one of the Spangler. I've gotten a lot of comments on that one this week. That's another one that I would love to do for next year sometime. I really need to work on some of my other ones, especially some of my WIPs. If they are already in progress, then I'm going to focus on those as much as possible. Right, I'm going to get this one color, and then I'm going to start with some of these comments. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. All right. And we're there. And then let's do this one. All right, let's go ahead and start on some comments. This is from the first set of comments is from last week's WIP and Chat for this Saturday. My Saturday Massive Project. This came from Deborah Call 9308. Says, you're not the only one that has a brain that hurts sometimes. I hope you had fun on your vacation. Also hope you can get White Christmas soon. And I am so excited to say that yes, I did. I got White Christmas. And I haven't had like any, well, not a long time, I should say, have had any canvases that I just was obsessed with. I wanted it, and I just really kept watching and stalking the website. And then when we were out of town in the mountains, I got a notification that White Christmas was back in stock. And so I thought, oh no, of all times, it would have to be back in stock when I'm in the mountains. Our internet is sporadic. My husband was driving. And so I'm like, okay, I've got to see if I can get this. I went to the website immediately. And actually, I did not have any problems with my internet. I'm like, okay, we are doing good here. We're doing really good. And then I got it in my cart, went to pay for it, and it wouldn't let me. It kept giving me these weird messages, or it wouldn't do anything. And so I was like, oh no, please don't tell me that it's already sold out in a matter of seconds. And so what had happened was that there was a glitch in the system. They were not going to sell it right then, but they were getting it ready or something. I'm not really sure. And so I put an email out on Facebook in their group, and I said, is there a problem? Was it me? Because I was in the mountains. Did I miss this already? And so immediately, I thought it was really nice. Dreamer Designs actually responded, and to my post on their Facebook website, or their group, and they said that there was a glitch that should not have happened, and that they were going to restock on Tuesday. And so, or Sunday, it was on Sunday. And so I thought, okay, that's okay. We'll be driving yet again, but I'm going to make sure that I am ready. I'm going to set an alarm. And then they came back, I guess it was on Saturday, Friday or Saturday. And then they said that there was a problem. They weren't able to sell it on Sunday, that it was going to be on Tuesday. And so that was even better, because I was going to be home. And so Tuesday it was 12 o'clock Eastern, I was on my computer. They opened it, I think, a little bit early. I got the notification, and I have not checked out in so fast ever on anything. And I got it. And I thought, well, should I go ahead and get another one that's on my list? Because since I'm already getting one, I might as well go ahead and get two. But I didn't, because I thought, I don't need anything else. I don't want to risk the fact this may go really fast and then I lose this one because I'm putting another one in my cart. So don't be greedy, just get the one, check out, and that's what I did. So I got White Christmas. I have not gotten it yet. It has been shipped, and I'm going to put it up. I'm going to check it, make sure there's not any problems. I don't think there will be, but just in case, I'm going to check it. And then I'm going to put it up, and I'm not going to work on it. I know this sounds awful because I just had to have it, right? But I'm not going to work on it for this Christmas, but I have it. So that's what counts, is the fact that I have it. I'm going to put it up, and then I'm going to work on it in July. I'm going to do a Christmas in July, and I'm going to work on White Christmas. So that way it will be done. I can have it framed for Christmas next year, and it'll be done. So that's what I plan on doing, unless I get it and then I'm like, I gotta start on this now. But I don't want to, I really don't want to start on it because, let's just go there. Let's see. Wait, this doesn't go there. What am I doing? All right, this goes here. Okay. I had that one off, and because that one was off, it messed me up. Okay, there goes like that. There. Okay. So I would love to work on it. I really would. I would love to work on that this year in December, but my December right now is so full. I just don't know if I want to start on something else, because I really would like to get some of my other paintings that's in my WIPs right now. I would like to see how much of those I can get done or get close to finishing. So if I just don't know about White Christmas, but all I can say is at least I got it. So that's what counts, right? So thanks so much, Deborah. And then Tammy Glasson says, hope you had fun on your vacation. They're always good to take if you can. She wanted White Christmas, and she didn't get it because of the light colors. She's seen a mix of reviews and some done on Facebook, so she's not going to get it. She does say there's a lot of gapping. You can see all the misplaced diamonds, whether you look up close or not. And she's also questioned people. That's what they said about it. She thinks if you can place in perfect order and there's not any gapping, then it might be okay. She said her personal opinion is just risking to spend the money if it's not good looking at it. She said it did sell out fast, and she saw where it's going to be stocked down the road. And she says maybe they're going to redo so there isn't so much gapping. Yeah, I hadn't really noticed the gapping because, you know, it's hard to tell when you're looking, or for me anyway, I'm just looking at some videos and I hadn't seen that the gapping is really bad, but, you know, it's really hard to tell from a distance. But hopefully that will not be too bad. And the funny thing is about the light colors is that when I first saw that when it first came out, and they were before they were going to sell it, it was like a, you know, sneak peek kind of thing. I thought, gosh, that's so much white. I'm just not interested. And then the more I looked at it, I thought, well, I really do like this. And then I wanted it. So I haven't done a painting with that much light in it. I haven't. So it's going to be interesting to see what I think of it afterwards. And I hope that I'm still going to like it, because of me have stalked the website so much and then get it and not like it. That's going to be a bummer. But hopefully it will be something that I enjoy and that it's not going to be really difficult with all of that light color, because it very well could be. It could be one of those that I start working on it and then I get just burnt out. But that's one of the reasons why I like to have several WIPs going on, because if I do and I get tired, I can just start on something else, which is what I tend to do. I'll do a row of something and then I'll stop and start on something else. And so that's what I'm probably going to do with White Christmas, which is one of the reasons why I thought about not doing it now, because if I go ahead, if I do it for this year, I'm going to want to focus on that one quite a bit. I would have to in order to get it finished for this Christmas. And if I just wait, then when I start to burn out from all the white, I'll just put it up, do something else, but I'll still have time to be able to get it finished before next Christmas. So that's kind of my thought process. It could go terribly wrong, but hopefully it won't, and I will be okay with it. But thanks, Tammy. It is one of those decisions. It's like, do you not? But even though I looked at it and I did see a little bit of gapping, or I heard about it, I thought, you know what? It's okay because I really want this one. So I'm going to go ahead and get it anyway. And then see what happens. All right, let's see. I really hope that it just did not start raining, because my dogs are outside and that means they'd be getting really wet. We are supposed to get some rain today. Kept going back and forth. Weather said one day we're getting rain, next time we're not. And now it's supposed to rain all weekend, but it wasn't supposed to rain today. But it sure sounds like that it might be. Right, so thanks, Tammy. I appreciate your comments, and I will let you know what it's going to be like, or you'll be able to see it later in the year, next year, to see how the gapping really is. Or maybe since it is a second, I don't know if they just reprinted some or if they made those corrections. I'm not sure. Okay, the next one is from Diamond Painting for Paint Therapy. And she says, yes, I've used the rubbing alcohol trick for years. It works the same as static guard. Just dip a Q-tip into the rubbing alcohol, swirl around the drills. If you use too much, the drills will clump together temporarily. But if you pour out into a tray for a minute, alcohol quickly dissipates. Then pour drills into storage container or tray static free. It works same as static guard. So if you don't like the smell, stay with the other. To me, the alcohol is just a more inexpensive option, and always have rubbing alcohol on hand. Keeps rubbing alcohol close as in between kits. Clean trays out with a wipe down with alcohol to get any wax residue. And I have not tried that yet. I am not crazy with the smell of alcohol, but it doesn't really bother me. So that might be something to try as well. And I tell you, I'm just assuming now that static is something that I'm going to have to deal with, because I have been kitting up all year. Doesn't matter when during the year, it's like I've had static. And some kits I don't have any static, some kits I do. It doesn't matter if I've had kits have been sitting for a while, kits I've just gotten. The static is just there. So it's just something that I'm gonna have to just deal with. My last kit, when I kitted up the Sugar Plum Fairy, did not have hardly any static, but that kit is over 2.5 years old. Don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. I don't really think so. I think I just got lucky that I did not have any static. This one goes, I'm trying to figure out where oh, there's 10. So I'll put that one on my tips to try the next time that I do kit up. So thanks so much for that tip. And for you, those of you that are having problems with static, maybe you want to try that one. I'm just been using my static guard and my dryer sheets, and that seemed to be okay lately anyway. I don't think on this kit I'm ever going to have quite a bit of color blocking. It's all pretty much confetti, and that's okay. Glad to be getting into another color besides all these browns. Been doing browns for a while. My last diamond painting session, I had a lot of browns on this one. All right, so the next one is from Tracy Goodenough. Says, not doing any diamond painting at the moment. Been really ill with a stomach bug and COVID. I'm still very tired from it. Her diamond painting is still just laying on desk. It's her Josephine Wall DP from the Josephine Wall event. And I have heard that the flu, a stomach bug, and COVID is starting to go around. So be careful out there. When I go on campus, I am super careful. I don't wear a mask. I probably should start wearing a mask again, but it is just so hard to try to do lectures and have a mask on, and then I just cannot breathe with a mask. That probably sounds kind of weird, but I can't. I just do not breathe very well with a mask. This one goes, missing one, goes there. So I would prefer not to have to wear one unless I just have to. And of course, if I have to, I will. But Tracy, take care of yourself. Hope that you are feeling better. Nothing's worse than a stomach bug too. And then to get COVID on top of that, that makes it even worse. So definitely hope that you feel better. And anybody else out there that's not feeling well, hope everybody recovers really quickly. This time of year just seems to bring a lot of the illnesses. And let's see. And Tracy also says, called fibro fog. It's worse when you concentrate on something for a long time, causes your brain to hurt, and you must stop what you are doing. Fellow fibromyalgia suffer for over 20 years. And I had honestly no idea. I had mentioned in my WIP and Tat that I can't really do this one for a long time, because then if I'm concentrating a lot, then my brain hurts. And that's what Tracy was referring to. I had no idea that it's actually called something. I just thought that it's just me overthinking, because when I do overthink, it does cause my brain to hurt, and it's hard to describe what that means. All I can say is that my brain is just hurting. I have to stop. I cannot really do anything else. If I try to continue, I just get really frustrated, and then I can't do anything. And I have been that way all my life. So I just thought that was just, something that was just me, but apparently not. And I did not realize, because I don't have fibromyalgia, that is something that fibromyalgia sufferers also tend to suffer from, a brain fog. So I totally get it. And it's not really my brain. It's not that it's really foggy. I still am able to continue if I have to, but then I just want to just scream. My anxiety starts ramping up, and I don't know. It's just hard to describe, but now I kind of get it. So thanks, Tracy, for that information. And then also the next one was from Tracy. Says, use tin foil in bottles to stop the static. And that's one that I have never heard of. was to use tin foil to put in your bottles. And I haven't even heard of anyone saying that. So that's something new that might be worth trying out too. We use so much tin foil though that I don't know if I would want to use tin foil for my crafting, but if that's what works, then definitely something to think about. I am going to have to refill these bottles and just hope that I still have some of these drills. I thought that I had ordered enough, but maybe not. All right, let's see. And that one takes care of the comments from my last Saturdays. And so now I am on my WIP and chat from Tuesday. Let's go to those. I'm not sure how many of these that I'm going to have. Let's see, I'm now on, what number am I on? 520. Oh, I'm getting into some greens finally. I like the greens. It's been a while since I was able to work on the green ones. Okay, the next one came from Wendy Haas 4914. Says, love Mrs. Beasley. Us older folks remember the dolls from 60s, 70s. Also, it was Buffy's doll and Family Affair TV show. You can catch the show if you have a Roku device on your TV for streaming. And I was using Mrs. Beasley as my cover minder last Tuesday. I was working on Sugar Plum Fairy. I was looking for a cover minder that was going to be Christmassy. And then I saw Mrs. Beasley popping out of one of the little areas that I keep my cover minders in, the little boxes. And so that one immediately drew me in. My dad bought me Mrs. Beasley. I wanted her so bad because I loved Buffy from Family Affair. And I think that had to have been the 70s. Well, it could have been the late 60s, but more than likely, I think for me, it was the 70s. Because I think the 60s was too early for me to remember much. But I wanted to be just like Buffy on Family Affair. I kept telling everybody that Buffy was my best friend. I just loved Buffy. And so for Christmas, my dad bought me Buffy. He bought me a little doll that looked like Buffy, and then he bought me Mrs. Beasley. So I had Buffy and I had Mrs. Beasley, and I carried Mrs. Beasley around everywhere. And Mrs. Beasley also talks. And my cousin also got one, and so we would just play, have our Mrs. Beasleys. And when I saw that I think it was Mad for Minders had Mrs. Beasley, I just had to get it. I thought, I don't know what I'm ever going to use Mrs. Beasley for, but it worked out perfect. So yeah, that just shows you how old I am, but I am good with it. I'm not embarrassed on my age. I'm proud of my age. Well, sort of, kind of, but those were just great memories. So I'm glad that someone else understood when I said Mrs. Beasley of who she was. Not everybody is going to know Mrs. Beasley. And I showed my daughter and she's like, oh yeah, that's Mrs. Beasley. And I'm like, okay, how do you know about Mrs. Beasley? Because I no longer have her. I'm not sure what happened to her, but she said that she saw Family Affair being streamed and she watched it and she really did like it. So that was really cute. So I'll have to get Mrs. Beasley out again when I do my Sugar Plum Fairy. Not sure if that's going to be my Tuesday WIP or not. I'm trying to rotate so everybody doesn't get bored with me doing the same WIP. Since I have so many, might as well show all of them some love. Okay, so thanks so much, Wendy. The next one is also from Wendy. Says, Michael's has Christmas trees on sale right now, and they don't decorate until after Thanksgiving. I am going to go to Michael's this weekend. I need to get some cardstock for some cards that I'm working on. And so I thought, well, I'm going to go and look at their Christmas trees. And I did receive a flyer that their Christmas trees are on sale. So that's what I'm going to do. This is in the wrong, so you just go up one. There we go. So that's the plan for the weekend. I want to get a Christmas tree that is a thin Christmas tree, like a pencil Christmas tree. And I want that to go in my dining room. And then we'll have our live tree in our den. That is the plan. But I have to go, so if I can find a tree, if I find one that I like, then I'll have to get them to hold it for me so that my husband can come and pick it up, because it will not fit in my car. At least I don't think that it will fit in my car. So I'll have to see if I can talk him into going and picking it up. Not sure what his plans are for the weekend, but I have a small car. Well, it's just a sedan, so I don't know if it will fit in there. Maybe I'll get lucky and it will. So if anybody's if they're looking for Christmas trees, then Michael's is having a sale. I'm sure other places are too, but Michael's is having a sale. Sparkling Spectronite, Hannah, says, love Canvas so much. Always loved anything to do with the Nutcracker. Started collecting nutcrackers when she was 10 years old and still does to this day. Thanks so much, Hannah. And I collect old world Santas. I thought about nutcrackers, and then I don't know, I saw that one old world Santa and that one just didn't end. So I do collect old world Santas, but that's really cool about nutcrackers. I know that there was a Hannah Lynn, I think it was Hannah Lynn, that Diamond Art Club came out with that was holding a nutcracker. I did not get that one. I think it was, I don't know if it was last year or a couple of years ago. And I've seen that one completed, and that one's really pretty too. So thanks so much, Hannah. The next one is Tina Crane 3540. And this will be Tina's first Christmas without her dad. He passed away March the 31st. She's going to be subscribing to my channel and would love to join the event. And I am sorry to hear about your dad. It is definitely very hard. There are good days and there are bad days, for me anyway. And I know that my sister is really struggling as well. And her more so, I think, than me, because she was with him every day and I wasn't. Doesn't mean that, I loved him any less or anything. It's just the fact that she lived down the street from him and I was over 600 miles. So that, unfortunately that made a difference of when we could go and visit more. But I know that it's really hard, and I hope that you are going to have a Christmas that is not going to be just awful for you, that you will think of really good memories. You will have time with your family. I think that's really important. That's what I'm planning on doing. And I'm so glad that my oldest, Maddie, is going to be coming home for Christmas. That's going to be so nice to have her and her fiance coming home. You need to start making some plans on that too. But yeah, it is It's really hard each time that there has been something that is a first, like a birthday, that's been super difficult. I know that my birthday next year is going to be difficult with my dad not calling. All right, I'm moving along on this one. So let's see. And thanks, Tina, for subscribing and for joining our event. And Tracy Good Enough says they put their tree up just before their daughter's birthday, which is the 21st of December. And we usually put ours up around the 15th or so of December because of the fact that my husband wants a live tree. But the last few years, when we put our tree up so late, thinking that the tree will be better to be put up late because the fact that it is a live tree, it has been not a good decision, because by the time that we get the trees, they look good on the lot, but as soon as we get them home and we put water in these stands, it doesn't even soak any of the water up because the tree's already pretty much dried out from the inside. And so this year we are going to put our tree up earlier and see if that helps. Another reason why I want to go ahead and get an artificial, because I can go ahead and I can start decorating earlier than the middle of December and then take everything down right after Christmas. We don't really get to enjoy it that much by doing it that way. But by Christmas, I am ready to take the tree down and ready to get everything that we have put up, put back in the attic, and ready for the next year. So as much as I love all my Christmas decorations, I am just glad when it's time to take them down, because we don't have a lot of space to put some of these large things that I have, and it takes up so much space, and it just seems to be cluttered, and I just do not like clutter. And that's what I'm struggling with right now, is clutter in my craft room. I do not like clutter. It just annoys me. But not much. Well, there is a lot I can do about it. I just haven't. All right, so let's see. Tracy also says, find using a pen with a colored head helps to push your glue dot in your pen when it plays up. And I hadn't had much problems with my glue dots, but last week, I don't know what it was. I did use different glue dots than what I normally use, and that could have very well been it. But either my glue dot kept falling out or it would not let go of the drill. It wanted to just hang on to my drills, and it was very annoying. And so I think that it was, I know it was a different brand than what I normally use. Don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but it was just, I thought it was poked in there pretty good, but then I turned around and like, okay, where's my glue dot? Glue dot fell out and didn't even know it. So maybe I did not push it down in far enough. So that is something I need to be a little better on. Make sure that that glue dot is good and secure. When I am diamond painting, it gets kind of annoying when you're trying to diamond paint. You can't pick up your drill, you don't know why, and you look down, your glue dot's gone. So that is another excellent tip from Tracy. Thank you so much for your tips. I need to see where this one goes. I am doing very well today on this. Going rather quickly. Let's see. Tracy Call says, really enjoyed your WIP and chat today. Glad I'm feeling more relaxed for my vacation. Sounded like a lot of fun. Christmas store would be fun to go to also. Happy that my animals did so well. Her cat has never stayed at a kennel before, and she's sure that her cat would come home mad at them. And our cat has only stayed there, I guess this was her third time, maybe fourth time. But she is almost 9, and we don't go places very often, but when we do, we don't take our animals. Especially with the cat, I'm just afraid that, you know, she may hide somewhere. We may not ever find her. She does not like change. She would rather not be anywhere but home. But she did very well. I was very proud of her. She was not a diva. She is invited back for next time. So I guess that she did okay. The dogs did very well at the kennel. They loved playing with the puppies, which I found to be really funny. So yes, we did have a nice time. And yeah, when she came out of her little crate that we take her back and forth with, she flew out of there, and I thought, yeah, she's probably going to try to bite me now that I open this. But she was happy to see us, and it was really weird because she is not a very cuddly cat, but she sure did. When we picked her up, for several days, she was all over all three of us. She was so happy to be home. She was loving on us. She was a very nice, very sweet cat, which she is for the most part. We just call her a diva because, well, she is. But she was really good. She slept with us. She was so happy to be home. And then that lasted a few days. And then after that, now she's back to her playful self, which is good. But they all three ate very well, but they were tired, all three of them. When they came home, they were ready for a long, long nap. I think the dogs kind of enjoy it because they get a lot of attention there, especially the collie. People just love collies, and you don't see very many collies anymore. I mean, you used to see collies quite a bit, but now it's like you don't see that many collies. I don't know if I'm on the right row or not. This is not, what did I do with this? Why do I have two of those? That should not be there. I thought I was doing so well. Let's see. Okay, 1, 2. That goes there. If you hear a weird noise, my dog's snoring. So, and I just don't have the heart to wake her up. So I guess I'll just have to let her snore. I think we're getting close to the hour mark anyway. I've gotten to where I can kind of tell now. Instead of having to look, I can tell when I'm getting closer to the hour. I guess I've been doing this long enough now that I can kind of tell. But I want to finish the comments. I don't want to get in the middle of a comment and then I don't know where I am next time and then I miss somebody. And if I ever miss your comment, or if I don't read your comment, it's on camera. It's not because there's a reason. It's just because I inadvertently missed it. And if I ever do, I am so terribly sorry. Some of the ones come in after I have done the WIP and chat, and I like to go ahead and respond and not just leave them open for a week for my WIP and chats. So that's why I go ahead and respond. But if I ever miss you, it is not because I intentionally did so. Let's see. And then Tracy Owen 2437 says, great video. Love listening to me about my family and what my pets get up to. And made her smile when she said about the cat and the dog playing with the puppies. And she says, thank you for sharing. And thanks so much, Tracy. I talk about my animals a lot because, well, don't really have much else to talk about. And I think everybody, for the most part, loves animals. Even though you may not have an animal, everyone can appreciate a really cute animal story. So that's kind of why I do that. And then talk about my kids. I'm careful with what I say on my kids because, you know, it's their life. And I don't want to put too much out there. I always ask them, is it okay if I say this? Do you care? Do you care if I show your picture? And so they are both very good at it. I very seldom show pictures of myself or my kids. And for me, I just don't. There's not any reason other than I don't think I'm very photogenic, and I really don't show myself that much. But with Madison, I don't. She's older, you know, so is Paige, but Madison's out there working. I don't want, you know, her picture to be out there. But I do ask. That's one thing I always do. I'm like, okay, can I tell this story? Do you guys really care? And then and I even do that same thing with my husband. I'm like, do you care if I say this? Is it a problem? Do you care if I show your picture? And so he's really good about that too. He'll say, yeah, you can say that, or no, don't dare say that. And I kind of know what he's going to say before I ask. So if there's something that I already know, you know, he is not going to want me to say anything about this, then I won't even ask him. I won't even say anything. Because you can never be too careful out there, especially on the internet. Let's see. I have just a couple more here. Actually, I just have one more. Okay. This is from Elizabeth Warman. And Elizabeth says, love my WIP and chats. And then she said, this is a funny story. I've already read this. And so I'm kind of going to just translate it into my own words as I am working on this, if you don't mind, Elizabeth. But Elizabeth said that her mom put her and her sister in ballet. And so Elizabeth was cast in, let's see, the Sugar Plum Fairy, and her sister wasn't. And so her mom went to the ballet instructor and told the ballet instructor she wanted both of her children to be cast in the play, and so the ballet. And so the ballet teacher refused to allow her sister to be in the play. And Elizabeth said the reason why that she didn't allow it was because her sister had 2 left feet. And so her mom didn't care, and her mom was mad because her sister wasn't invited to be in this play. And so she took both Elizabeth and her sister out of ballet. So that was really cute. And I could see my mom, if I had, you know, a sister that I was growing up with, and, you know, my mom, that I could see my mom doing something like that. That she would expect both of us to be in a play or whatever it was. And if we weren't, then I could see her saying, well, then you can't have either one of my children. But my sister did not live with me. She lived with my dad and my stepmother. And she's also about 12 years younger than me. And so now that we're both adults, that doesn't matter. But, you know, growing up, it did. And I would take my sister to concerts. That's a fun part of being an older sister, especially, you know, if you're an older sister, you're an adult, and your sister, you know, is not there yet. You can do things, you know, with your siblings that you couldn't if you were so close to age. So that was a lot of fun. And I would take her and let her do things that, of course, my dad and stepmother never would allow it. But they knew that, you know, I was taking her to a concert. They trusted me, and we had fun together. So that was really important. 8:32. But that was part of what Elizabeth was saying. And then she also said that she went into a natural hot tub, and some of them brought wine. And then, let's see, also, she said she's still working on Pumpkin with Sunflowers by Gail Flores. And she stopped a while because of some depression she had. She was able to work on her canvas again today, which was when she posted the comment. I'm so glad you felt that you were able to work on your canvas again. I hope that helped you. Sometimes, diamond painting will help if, you're depressed or clinical depression, and sometimes it just doesn't, or it doesn't for me. Whenever I don't have depression, but I do have high anxiety sometimes for various reasons that I'm definitely not going to go into. But when something, I start to feel that way, then I will get out my diamond painting and it makes me feel better. But sometimes nothing helps. So you have to decide, what works better for you, what you need. And sometimes it's diamond painting and sometimes it's not. And let's see. Also, Elizabeth said that she loves wine. I discussed that we went to a couple of wineries. I went to my favorite one in the mountains. And so she said if I ever get to Southern California, to be sure to go to some of the wineries. And I would love to do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. I don't know when I'll be able to go to California. I have been to California years ago on work events, but it was strictly for work. We did go out and do a little bit of sightseeing, but nothing to that extent. And I did go to Disneyland one year with my kids. We flew to Disneyland, but that was not the time to go and visit a winery. Both my kids were underage, for starters, and we were going for family time. And we had never been to Disneyland. We had been to Disney World so many times when the kids were growing up. And so Madison asked whenever she was graduating from high school, I said, well, where do you want to go for your senior trip? Where, I will take you. And so she said she would really like to go to Disneyland. And so that's what we did. The girls and I went to Disneyland. And so that was the first time I had been to Anaheim. And that was fun. I do think, though, that I prefer Disney World over Disneyland. And maybe it was just because I'm so used to Disney World. Disney World is easier for us to get to. And also, I know my way around Disney World. I know pretty much where everything is at Disney World. And Disneyland, I had no clue where anything was, because we had never been. And the rides were different. It was smaller. And it was actually, at the time, it was more expensive. Not ticket-wise, but everything else. Because we had to fly. That was more expensive. The flights were more expensive for us. Oh, I just moved these. For us than it was to fly to Orlando. But thanks so much, Elizabeth. I definitely will keep in mind about the winery. And then she also says that they cannot have fires because it's prone into wildfires there because of all of the fires that they do have. And I totally get that you couldn't have bonfires in California because of all of the wildfires that you guys do have. Okay, I am at a good stopping point. I've gotten a lot done today. Actually, I have laid down 322 drills, and I'm going to continue after I finish this video, and then I'm going to continue working on these 6 sections, and then I'm going to do another 6 hopefully today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you were able to get something done if you wanted to. Really appreciate all you guys' support. And if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. I think that you would like it here. If you liked this video, please click on the like button. That really does help get my videos pushed out there. And until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.